We got an exciting episode today for a couple reasons. One is the 100th episode. I've been asking for this one for a while. Like, when we get to 100?
All we had to do is get through the first 99, and here we are.
But in saying that, we go way back to Colorado Springs, Colorado, Team USA 18 under. We lost one game in Venezuela. I was pissed about that. It was the first time I ever seen a player pump fake an entire defense shift. That's when I was like, oh, that's what it looked like. And that was one of the first times I've ever seen like a basketball player. I was like, I got a long way to go. 4 is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about what DraftKings has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours. So, E.T., we're talking about the DraftKings Finals futures. Now, explain to me what a futures is.
I feel like the futures is just an extra looking forward to what it could be. Right now, we're in April. We're at the beginning of May. So when this drops, this is May 2nd. Beautiful May 2nd. Hopefully it's nice out, not overcast. But, you know, the finals is what? The mid-June. So we're sitting here. It's just getting extra odds and trying to get the most of your money to be, you know, not to be you're going to get paid extra for not being a little bandwagon bitch. You know what I mean? I
can dig that. I'm wondering what was Boston's futures after Miami won Game 2. You know, because the narrative was quick to change.
No, you're absolutely right.
But now coming out of Game 3 or Game 4, Game 3 it changed.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Game 4, you know, obviously it's going to change after that as well. But they're back in the driver's seat, I see.
Doesn't nothing throw me off more in the eyes of what they thought the Suns were going to do before the season? And now
they were the favorites at one point?
I mean, they were pretty heavily favored. And now, I mean, like, usually, bro, Vegas is never wrong. Like, you know what I mean? That's what kind of throws me off. Like, Vegas is never wrong. Like, the odds are never wrong. But I guess they are in this sense. And hopefully, for the sake of it, I hope the homie Jason Tatum, the good folks in Boston, get a championship. And what it's looking like for the future, they have them matched up versus Denver Nuggets.
This is true, yeah.
It's 215, so that might be tough. You see next, they got OKC at plus 850, Minnesota at plus 100, Knicks at plus 14, Dallas at plus 17, Clippers at plus 35, Pacers at plus 45, and Bucks at, God damn, Bucks, I'm finna take that.
Plus 10,000?
Damn, come through, baby!
But Minnesota at plus 1,100, I would have thought it would be it's a good for a better.
That's
I would say bet. It's very tempting.
That's more believable than the Knicks. At 1,400 is right below them because you got to think. Jokic says it doesn't matter, but Minnesota beat the Nuggets the last time they played to get that the second spot.
Yes.
So I think that battle really matters, and right now. It's not about the X's and O's, it's about the Jimmys and Joes. And, you know, you got to have energy to combat a machine like Jokic.
Yeah.
And I think right now, whoever has the best energy, whether it be an individual player, obviously you can't go over the team, but Anthony Edwards has some firepower. And then you see the boys in Boston, of course. And SGA, my pick for MVP.
Yeah, this MVP is going to be interesting. The playoffs are off to a good start.
Very much so.
I would say every series has been, you know, something to watch, whether it's how OKC's come out the gate or whether it's how, you know, what happened to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And so even the series that there were sweeps, I think we're getting like defining moments within each series. I mean, you look at the Milwaukee-Indiana series, which is, you know, really interesting. And so
or like, shoot, I got to give credit to the Cavs Magic. That's a series made for NBA TV, and y'all have made it prime time, and I'm definitely grateful. Shout out to both teams in that area. Shout out to Ashtabula, Ohio, and the great James Turner.
Point. forward.
The 82-game preseason is finally in the books, and it's finally time for the real season. Don't miss out on any of the NBA playoff action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. From the play-in tournament through the finals, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with same-game parlays, live betting, odds boost, and so much more. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code POINTFORWARD. New customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code POINTFORWARD. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.co/bball for eligibility and deposit restriction terms and responsible gaming resources.
Point forward.
I'll give a quick shout out to my man John Salmons. John Salmons said when he was in high school, he was in an AAU tournament, and he saw Corey Maggette. And Corey Maggette is built the same way he was in the league. He was built like that in Chicago in high school. And he said when he saw Corey Maggette, he was like, I ain't going to make it. And it was only a few times I felt like that in high school. One was Amari, was just different. Amari was just a grown man. Yeah. And luckily he was on my team in Nike camp. But I had never played against Carmelo until the Jordan game. Jordan game. Yeah, Jordan. It was the first ever Jordan Brand Classic.
Was that 03?
That was 04.
That's crazy.
No.
It was 04. I mean 02. I'm sorry. I'm thinking my draft class. 02.
In D.C.
In D.C. In D.C. That was the first time I saw Melo, and he got MVP that game. Steve Smith was our coach. He's your coach in high school, but he was my coach on that.
Absolutely.
On that All-Star game, and we were in the huddle like, "Hey man, how we guard Melo?" And he was looking like, just make him take tough shots.
I was home too. I was home, and JJ took my MVP from McDonald's.
Yeah, I was just talking about that
a couple weeks before.
They were just talking about that. JJ got the MVP in the McDonald's game, and when he was on JJ's pod, Old Man in the Three. JJ was saying how he was going around telling guys, hey, don't pass the ball to JJ. This is my trophy.
No, I'm going to tell you the bullshit JJ did, though. I think the game is coming down to the end in the McDonald's game. So I think I got like 19. I got 20. JJ got 19 or some shit like that. Something like that. The clock is running down. So I just know I got MVP. Like I'm home. This is New York. MVP McDonald's. JJ pulls a 3 from the hash and it goes in. He gets MVP. That's how that's how JJ got the MVP of McDonald's. So that's the story.
So it was reparations a couple weeks later.
Yeah. So he came home. Anyway, we was home.
Was there anybody from those games? Obviously, he brought up Amari, you bring up JJ, and then he brought you up.
Yeah.
Were you sitting there and like, damn, they might be a problem for me over the next 20 years? Or were you just like, nah, the dude in Akron is going to be, you know what I mean, a problem for me?
The dude in Akron is crazy.
No, I'm saying, but when you were
No, that's a fact.
Yeah,
so we putting our time back into that. I mean, putting us back into that time. Yeah. But I played against him that season at Oak Hill. So after that, it was just like on to the next. Like he was a junior, so I never was like, oh, I'm going to play against him next year. Or, it was just like, it was guys in my class that I knew. Iggy, and we had, I remember Evan Burns was,
Evan
you know what I mean? Like he was
Evan Burns was like that.
Like he was 6'7", bouncy, jumping out the gym. Like everybody loved him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was guys like that. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker's bouncy. He already brown, like everybody all over him. He UCLA. Like I'm like, damn. So I know I got shit to do. You know what I'm saying? Then we had Hassan Adams. That was
he's my roommate. Hassan Adams.
You know what I'm saying?
He's my roommate in college. He's my roommate.
Yeah, but it wasn't But Amari was a man child.
It wasn't fair.
And like the aura, like that he walked around with.
Really?
Like Dre, you could attest to this.
Bro, he was
his aura was like.
You ever seen the movie Class Act?
Yeah.
Remember the bully? That's how Amari moved, dog.
What are you playing with my bro?
Fam, you was scared of Amari, like.
Nah, that's a fact.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo, he was his aura. He was just walking around and like, damn, like this nigga might go to the league. Like, He going to the league. Fuck that. Like, that's that. And he was letting niggas know. Like, I'm coming at you. I'm coming at you. At you. I'm like, damn. Yeah, stat. But that was who I really, like, was like, damn, he going to the league? Yeah, I'm going to college. Like, I'm not, you know, that's what you got to be. He was athletic, 6'10", jumping out the gym, yelling at niggas, screaming at niggas, blocking the shots, grabbing it out the air. Like, he was just different. He was NBA mentality already.
Yeah, I want to ask y'all something about that. We spoke on it off camera. You're like, back in the day, you had to be at a certain level to make it to the league. Or, you know, 2 future Hall of Famers. You guys felt this way. Now you said a kid could just wake up and be like, you know, I want to go to the NBA. Let's figure out a way to get there. What do you think the difference of the game back then and now, and how you think it's evolved, and how do you think, you know, to a certain extent, that viewer mentality isn't, you know, always the best way to have?
I believe that the prototypes of what they put out, of what they saying that they want in the league today, right? You see more of those prototypes.
Yeah.
Everybody, you know, they say two-way players. They want the Iguodala frames. They want the Paul George frames. They, you know what I mean? 6'7", 6'8", that could do multiple things on the court, could shoot the three, could play. Like, they want that frame. So now kids are that size now. They 6'7", 6'8", taller now, doing the same shit that we was doing. So now the turnover is, to me, the turnover is quicker now.
Yeah.
I can get another one of you. I can get another one of you. It's a rotating door. So now if I'm in high school and I'm that frame and that's the only thing that I'm seeing, I'm watching the game, I'm watching highlights, I'm watching who they saying is the guy to look at.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to mimic my game after that. I'm already 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". What they say, man, everybody say, I hope you get like 6'7", man. I hope you get to 6'6", 6'7". That's what they tell the kids today. Yeah. So it's very difficult for the kids to understand exactly what's going on. In their mind, all they see is, I can go from high school, I can go to college for 1 year, and I can go to the NBA. It's easy. And it's not easy, but it's easy for them to try to make themselves understand that. With us, it was hard to find a makeup like myself, a body build, you know, could play the 3, play the 4, play the 2, can do multiple things. It was hard, could shoot, can dribble. It was hard to do that. Yeah. Especially when I came, it was only a couple
people doing
wings that was really doing that. T-Max, Paul Pierce, you know, it was a couple guys that was really getting to it at that position. So now these kids is looking at the shades and who's 6'7" at the point. Yeah. You know what I mean? Who can win, who can shoot. Like that's who they mimicking. Paul George. You see everybody say these kids are saying they are Paul George. Like Paul George.
Last one of them.
This is what they saying. So I'm around it and I'm watching it and it's like everybody is playing like Paul George. It went from Steph. Oh, I want to be like everybody shooting like Steph. Now it's the wings is all Paul George. KD, Paul George. Like.
But you had a
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is it's crazy. But what do you think about that when you hear that sometimes people saying that and you were one of the top wing or the wing? Do you just think that's another part of the evolution of the game?
Yeah, I look at it as it's an evolution of the game. It's a different type of game. Like my makeup, I know there's not a lot of people that was built like me, that can move like me, that can shoot like me, that can score.
And you rebound it.
A lot, right? And there's other little things that I was capable of doing, and I was doing, and you know my IQ was high. Like I know the game. A lot of people won't give that credit, but I knew the game. I know how to break down the game. I know how to stop this guy. I know how to put a plan together to stop him behind the knees. I knew all of that. Right, but you won't get that. You won't get that credit. So that for me, that was something I really put a lot of my effort into. Like, just focus on the small things of the game. Today they don't have. That's what's missing today. They don't focus on the small things.
The fundamentals.
Like no fundamentals.
Like I watched you showing your son his jab series from a young age, and it's just the fundamental of just getting open first and foremost.
Yeah.
Now how to relieve yourself from pressure without dribbling. Now is how I get to a spot. Now is how you draw a foul. Yeah. Now is how you operate in a small space. Absolutely. If you can operate in a small space, you can operate in any space.
You good.
And so I want to go like back early because you might remember this too. I remember all types of stuff because like this was my you know, I played AAU and that was an eye opener to me. I played AAU 1 year, just being around Chicago guys. It was like, I'm from a small town, so I'm seeing all new things. So when we were in Miami training for USA, under 18 under,
yeah, you bringing me back. You
right?
bringing me back.
We run into Scotty.
That's a fact.
Pippen?
Scottie Pippen was like at Wild Willie's or whatever that place is on the corner.
Wet Willie's.
But Scotty just chilling.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm a Scotty here. I'm from Illinois. I've been watching Scotty since I was 8 years old. Like Scotty is like my man. And like this dude is like Scotty out, but Scotty knew who he was though, which was crazy to me. Scotty knew who he was. I'm like, damn, like that's like ultimate dream. Like NBA player know who I am. And Scotty said something slick and he was like, Scotty, I'll bust your ass right now. But then when we on the court every day, I'm watching you, I'm like, man, I think you probably could.
I called Scotty after that too, but go ahead.
Like when did all that change for you? Because I remember you said at one point you had a shot, you shot across your face, then you straightened it out. But like when did it happen? When it like this flipped? When you was like, I know who I am.
Yeah. So 9th grade, I went to a school. I'm in the city. I'm in West Baltimore. I go to a Catholic school, but the shit is like an hour, you know, on the train. By the time you get to school, it's an hour, 3 buses, train, all of that. So I couldn't get into school first because of financial aid, right? So I enrolled to Dunbar High School, and then the financial aid kicked in. So I never enrolled from this school, but I just went and left and went to Catholic school. So when I get there, my shit was so fucked up, I failed the class, so I couldn't play varsity. So I had to play JV. But I went there to play varsity. Me and my man went there together, like, yo, we gonna go here. We gonna be here for 4 years, varsity 4 years, whatever. I couldn't play varsity. So at that point, I'm like, I gotta play JV. Fuck that. I ain't playing no more. I'm done. So I played JV. We went 1-15 or something like that. And I'm like, I'm not playing this shit no more. Basketball wasn't fun for me. I just like started hanging in the streets, been back on my block, just trying to get away from it. My sophomore year had come. Now I grew a little bit. I always could play because I was in the streets playing street ball, and so I always knew how to play. It was just, I was looking for a situation. So I failed the class again in Catholic school. I failed the same class, right? Theology.
That shit was hard, huh?
No, it wasn't hard. No, the point is, it wasn't hard. It was, I had a bunch of questions. So, you know, in theology, it's all essays and right? It's opinion based. Right. But you got to stick to the script. So I was always questioning status quo, right? So that's an automatic fail, right?
Culturally biased.
No, I'm gonna keep that in mind.
No, that's real.
No,
that's
but
real.
what I'm
that's
saying,
real.
like, I didn't have the knowledge of that, of what I was going through at that point in time. So basketball to me was like, man, I'm ready to get out this school. Like, I'm failing classes, but I don't know why I'm failing the fucking class. Like, for what? So I come back, and now I'm playing varsity. I'm coming off the bench. You know, I'm playing some minutes. I'm playing well, and I caught a growth spurt that summer, and I grew like 4.5, 5 inches. So now I'm going from 6'1", 6'1.5", JV going into sophomore. Now I'm coming back my junior that summer, 6'6.5". That's when I'm like, oh, shit. Like, okay. I come back my junior year. Now I get All-Metro Player of the Year, All-City County Player of the Year, like Catholic League Player of the Year. Now everything is kind of falling in place. So now I'm starting to be like, damn, like this is, okay, I can fuck with this a little bit. I get kicked out my junior year. They say I had too many tardinesses, lateness, missing classes, but it was because my transcript was fucked up. Because remember I said I was enrolled in this school, so I was getting the lates and the missing schools from this school and this school, right? So, so I didn't know all of this. I didn't know all of this.
No, this is crazy.
So the end of my junior year, I'm getting all of these accolades, but I'm getting like detentions and like, you got to make up classes. I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing that. They're like, you can't do that. You can't get your transcript unless you come make up these detentions in the summertime. I said, nah, fuck that. So I had to go to summer school. So I missed all camps.
Yeah, I remember that.
I missed every camp that summer. I had to go to summer school. I had to go to night school to make up my grades. So I missed every camp.
I remember that.
Now I'm at Oak Hill Summer School. Sonny Vaccaro calls me and say, yo, I'll bring you to a ABCD camp.
I remember that. You showed up late.
For one day. He said, who you want to play against? I said, Lenny Cook. right? I said, Lenny Cook. He said, all right, I'm going to give you Lenny Cook. When I got there, I was supposed to play Lenny. He had me match up Lenny, Braun, Raymond Felton the next morning, Andre Roberson. Like, it was like...
Florida, yeah, I remember Roberson.
Paul Davis.
Michigan State.
And I'm like, hold up. Like, Sonny, hold the fuck up. Like, so I only could play Lenny. Right? So at that point, when I left ABCD camp, I'm like, oh, it's on. Like, it's. I went back to Oak Hill on a whole nother level. So when you ask me when did it switch, that was the switch. The ABCD camp for me was the switch. Because I saw now I see everybody who's considered the best of the best.
Right.
So now I'm looking and I'm measuring myself and I'm looking at games and skill sets and what people could do. And nah, he can't go left. Nah, he ain't better than me. Nah, Lenny Cook. Nah, I know his game. 6'7", 6'8", want to pick up full court. Back up off him a little bit. He want to get downhill. Like, it was like I already knew the game at that point in time. So when I get back to Oak Hill, I knew I was ready for whatever was next. But I'm looking at Braun now, because now at Oak Hill that game is scheduled circled on the schedule because they played them the year before that. Yep. So now I know I can go. I know I can do it. I know I'm nice. I'm matched up against all these guys. I just played against Lenny Cook, who's supposed to be the best one in the country at this point in time. Yeah. Cool. Braun is circled on the schedule. So my goal was I was working towards matching up with him at that point in time. So to answer your question, ABCD camp was like the switch for me that was like, damn, like if this is who they saying is nice, fuck it, I'm back with myself.
And all this, like, take me through your footwork series. Like, when did you learn all that? Because when I remember, like I said, I was telling E.T. outside, we played one-on-one in the same under-18 camp, and we were at the Miami Heat facility, and I was like, let's play one-on-one. And it was like 7-8-0. I think I had one chance. And, like, I just didn't have the skill set yet. I didn't understand, like, the proper mechanics of a shot or, one-on-one spacing and all that. And, like, you had it all, like, perfected. Like, this is just hooping in the streets of Baltimore?
Yeah, it was. I mean, again, it was just playing, looking at guys, playing with older guys, like in the streets, they just throw the ball out there, and you gotta really earn your keep. Like, you don't want to, on the course, you don't want to lose your spot.
Right.
There's a lot of people on that side. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to lose and be the one like, yo, let me get on your squad. Yo, pick me up. Like, you need one? Like, you don't want that. So you want to be on a team that's really rocking, so you could keep playing and get the experience. So for me, it was more about just watching a lot of people. Like, I used to watch a lot of people, man, just footwork and just how they move in certain situations. Also, I'm a big music fan, right? So in the house, we grew up in R&B, old school, the oldies but goodies and shit like that. You cleaning up, and so it's my family. We dance. Like, this is what we do. So once I started, like, I only had the jab step. I ain't gonna front with you. Like, I only had the.
But it was.
I had the jab. Yeah, but it was like, now when I look back at it, like, damn, that jab step was. I'm glad you fixed that shit, because it was long jab step. You know what I mean? It was like I had to take time getting it back, but I knew I had something with that. So it went from just the jab, and then every time in the gym, at the time. My trainer was Edon Ravine, right?
Yeah,
so
I remember Edon.
Shout out to Edon.
So Ferrari.
Absolutely. So we used to be in the gym, like, if it's something that I felt comfortable with in that workout, we was coming back the next day and adding on to that and using that as the basis. So if I felt good with this jab and a step back, tomorrow we was gonna do that jab and a step back, and we was gonna add something to it, right? So I was a very unorthodox, like, type of trainer. I was just getting there and just at the end of the workout, just do something like, oh shit, this feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, let me work on this tomorrow. Let me do this a couple more times. Oh shit, like this. Let me try this in the game now. And then that's how I got my footwork. But I actually worked on it. Like, I worked on being light on my feet, movement. I used to box. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So it was a lot of things that came into play when it came to the footwork.
Well, you talk about your skill set, but what about your competitive nature? I think one thing that people always forget when they used to try to throw shade on you, I'm like, Melo still came in as a freshman and won a national title.
Yeah.
Where did that competitive nature come from? Was there anybody at Oak Hill, or was it, bumping into Chauncey or anything, along those natures? And how are you able to pick that up and continue to, make that part of your identity?
It was, again, I always felt like I had to do extra to prove to everybody. Where some people were just like, they can just do something and it's cool and they get praised for it. Me, I always felt like I had to go above and beyond and like, yo, look what I can do. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I never said that out loud. It was just like I let my game and let my work ethic play. My competitiveness came from, again, being in the streets, man, and just not wanting to lose and understanding where I was at and where I was coming from. And looking back, like, hell no, I'm not going back to that. Like, it was real. It was a different type of hunger that I really had because I knew what was behind me.
Yeah.
Right? And I knew I had a lot of people that I had around me at this point in time that we trying to get out the same situation.
Yeah.
Right? So this is what I have to really lock into and go do. And we going to take advantage of this right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I learned how to be competitive. I never was a sore loser. If I lost, I gave you dab. All right, cool, man, good job. Boom, boom, boom. We keep it moving. But I also know that I'm fueling. You know what I'm saying? But I just never took it out on nobody else. So my competitiveness just comes from the people that I grew up with, people that I played around with, people that I looked up and saw how they was maneuvering, how they was reacting in games and situations. But also, you got to stand 10 toes down when you come from that environment, man. And it's a sick environment to survive in.
Yeah. You talk about sick environments. Sometimes certain environments are built for you to succeed, and then there's certain where you have obstacles. And we talk about little leaps that you guys can relate to is the George Karl situation. Mm-hmm. And, clearly...
You was funny as hell, too.
But, the underappreciation, but somewhat like, the blasphemous statements that were, once made. Like, how do you guys feel about that in that sense and, to kind of overcome that hurdle of, somebody trying to help you and it seems like the wind is pushed against you?
It was hard, man. It was hard for me as a player to try to, like, say, fuck it. Like, you know what I mean? Just like, man, I ain't worrying about that shit, man. Fuck it. And I'm combating that, and I still got to go out there and feel like I got to prove to everybody, right? Because I got to show everybody that this shit is not affecting me over here.
Yeah.
So I still got to go out there. And to be honest with you, man, keep it a buck, I felt like that's when I played my best basketball. Like when I felt like I was just like, man, fuck it, like back against the wall, people saying shit, like I'm still being able to get in my sanctuary and go lock in and go hoop. So that's how... For me, that shit was, it was all bullshit, the fact that I had to start with that narrative. I came in with the narrative.
Yeah.
Right.
It ain't like I got the narrative as I went on. Like, I came in with the narrative of selfish and this and, like, damn.
And you just beat Kirk Heinrich and Nick Collins.
I was just the best team. I was just the best teammate ever.
Yeah.
A couple months ago.
Yeah.
And that's because we know you, right?
Right.
And I think you feel the love from your peers, right?
Indeed. That's the only thing I care about.
Which is a trillion times more important than anything else,
about.
Right? But you talked about, the theme I caught was going against status quo. Mm-hmm. Like you taking theology and it's like, no, I got questions as to why.
Facts.
Like who wrote that story that way and why they write it that way and why I got to accept it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I've seen is a lot of the guys in my era, our era, like you were the North Star in terms of representing who you actually are, like not having to switch up. And I wanted to ask you, how have you felt about that in your career? Because obviously most of us would say like, man, I was exactly who I wanted to be because we knew you had this too.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't turn us on you. Like we know, it's like, we know, stop it. You know what I'm saying? It's the reason why he keep being the leading scorer in Team USA, starting or coming off the bench.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But what is it about you that made you stay true to who you were and being comfortable with who you are without letting all that negativity, taking effect on like your legacy? Because it's like, it kills me. People always ask me who the hardest player to guard is. Like, I think you know who I say every single time. It's like, man, Melo was the hardest person to guard. I guarded Kobe Bryant and LeBron. Like, the shit was hectic. Like I was like, listen, man, I got to put the body armor on today, and my mind got to be right.
Yeah.
But what is it about you that kept you true to like who you are?
I only can speak for things I've been through. When you come up the way that I did, you know sucker shit. You know who's who. You know personalities. You know every car that's coming down the block. You know everybody who's supposed to be on that in that neighborhood and who's not. You know, these are things that you pick up just naturally. Mm-hmm. So when it's nothing, there's no difference when each level you go, whether you're in the boardroom, whether you on the court, whether you wherever you are, these same principles still are there. So when I get there and I start seeing and hearing how these narratives are really created, I know that that's sucker shit. Mm-hmm. So I never went towards the sucker shit. I never addressed the sucker shit. I just let sucker shit be sucker shit if it didn't affect me. But now when it starts to affect me, behind the closed doors, and people don't know, the people that was with me at this time know this, I was hot. Like I was ready to go after everybody who was shooting at me.
Right.
And then I'm like, if I do that, I'm engaging in the sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? So then now I look like a sucker. So now I'm letting people, I'm opening the floodgates for people to shoot, everybody to shoot shots at me. Because, oh, he complaining, he's this and he's that. So how can I tell my kids, man, we ain't complaining about nothing? And then you look back and rewind it like, man, Dad, you was complaining, Dad. Like,
yeah, but at this point, it was at a point where it was wrong, though.
So what I would say is, what I would say is to that point, while everybody was shooting and shooting and shooting, I couldn't shoot back at everybody. But I knew one thing. They couldn't stop me from what I was doing on the court. And that's the God's honest truth. I go in the gym, I lock in. And that was that. We got Tim Gergerich, Coach Jamal Mosley in Denver. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows during that time when all of this narrative shit was starting to boil up and be created, Melo was in the gym. So that's why I was able to still be productive, because I knew the sucker shit and I knew all I got to do is just focus on playing basketball. And I'm going to have my time to talk.
Yeah.
Like, I can't shoot at everybody, so I'm going to have my time to speak. And I always told everybody that. When my time come, my time going to come. Timing is everything. I can't just be saying shit just because and looking like a sucker. Like, I can't.
Yeah, but now,
but it was hurtful, though. I can't even front.
No,
like,
it was mad disrespectful,
So you saying it as...
I had a job and you weren't playing, G. Like, I started looking like...
Player, right? As a player, that it was fucked up. Yeah. Imagine going through that as a player. So now you start questioning, like, damn, was my career worth it? Did I really do what I was supposed to do in my career? Am I supposed to be here? Am I really nice? How are niggas looking at me when you start?
Yeah. You start like that, dude.
Yeah, son, I'm a man. Like, you got to, you know what I mean? So you got to think, I was down. I was back on the ground, fucking hands up. Y'all got me as a stick up. Like, take everything. Because of how it went down.
And it's not like he did something wrong.
No, bro. We played them in Houston. We beat the shit out of y'all in Houston. Y'all was the only one that had 28.
Yeah, y'all beat the shit out of us.
Yeah, and then like the next day you were cut, and I'm like, well, did he curse him out? Like, what did he do?
Nah, bro.
No. But no disrespect, but he had 20s going up to that point. So I remember sitting there and being like, nah, dog, he ain't tripped that whole day.
So imagine me sitting.
We were adding it up. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah.
For 15 months, like, what the fuck is going on? Nobody got an answer for me.
When we were in Portland,
nobody had an answer.
Yeah, I know a 3, man.
Everybody on TV making excuses. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. He didn't want to come off the bench.
Yeah.
What?
Because, I'm speaking to, and I don't want to bring up any other things that have occurred with other guys, but we ain't talk about, like, no issues. Like, nothing happened off the court. Nothing happened, bro. In terms of, like, breaking the law.
Nothing.
There was nothing, like, detrimental to the team or the game. Like, I was truly confused, and it was like, is he that bad of a person? They started having me second guessing, like, what is he? Is he changed? Like,
nah, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, as I studied it and kind of like did some knowledge on it, try to get understanding on it, I still can't come up with nothing, right? And it's like, what was it? Some people came up to me and were like, Melo, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was your aura was too much for out here. Right? You couldn't, y'all, this couldn't exist. Your aura couldn't exist in here. Nobody was going to tell you that. I said, what the fuck does that mean? Like, I'm sitting there, I said, what does that mean? They say, well, everybody's afraid to talk to you. Like, everybody's afraid to say something to you. And I said, why? I haven't said nothing to nobody. I speak to everybody. I'm called you. Why everybody scared of me? And they was like, somebody said.
You sure of yourself?
No,
you're sure of yourself.
Along those lines, though. Along those lines. Somebody said, well, you don't need nothing. Right? And I said, what you mean by that? He said, Melo, you a superstar. You haven't asked for one thing since you've been here. I don't even think you asked for some socks or some like you haven't asked. What the fuck is that?
No, that's the man after you.
That's
the man after you, man.
But my point is, everybody had 1,001 reasons of why it happened, and I still don't know the reason why it happened. I have some inkling on why it happened or how it happened. I'm trying not to believe that's what happened or how it went down, so I don't want to speak on that.
You ever look back sometimes internally, and this is for people that, you're different aura, different type of vibe, where you're like, man, maybe I kept it too real. And that's not saying like nothing negative. I'm just saying like...
Nah, because I know niggas who kept it real and still got the credit for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until it was time for them not to get the credit for it, and it became too much. Yeah. So I always knew that. I always knew the science behind that. I tell myself, I live off this, I stand on, I tell everybody, never burn no bridges. You don't know when you're going to have to cross that bridge again. Yeah. So I always stood on that. I always respected everybody, shook hands, laughed, made people comfortable. I don't even know you, and I'm going to speak to you.
What's been fun now since you left the game?
Right. Yeah, hell
7 p.m. Brooklyn. You're able to build your own. Yeah, no, but you're able to build your own narrative. I feel as though that's what's been fun. And I think one thing that shocked me, I'm like, oh shit, Melo's getting a show, and to be able to speak and hear you become outspoken. Tell us about how 7 p.m. Brooklyn started. Yeah, and what's been the most fun part about it.
So during that time that I was off for those 14 months. The first half of those months was like down and out.
Yeah.
Like just don't want to get out of bed, go to the gym, come back in the bed, you know what I mean? Like just trying to find new shit. Yeah. TV was my best friend, like at this point in time. Like I ain't watch no sports, no basketball, none of that shit. So I'm just there just trying to allow everything to just come on in and then figure it out. So it took me about 4 months to kind of get out of like that shell of like not wanting to be around a basketball or being embarrassed. Like, damn, what, people looking at me like, oh, he ain't shit no more. He ain't, he's washed, he's a has-been.
Is that where Hoodie Melo came from, in a sense of you just wearing a hoodie, not want to be bothered?
Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact.
Because it's funny, because when I was done and I was still working out, I would go work out at regular gyms. And I throw my hoodie on, I'm like, niggas is laughing, but this is probably where Hoodie Melo came from.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
Because in your head, like, you're really down in the dumps, and you like, bro, niggas, what you doing at the YMCA? You like, my rich ass, you was running on tracks outside.
Yeah, I was finding like little small gyms. I was really trying to get back to my essence of like getting back into grimy gyms, small gyms, hot as shit in there. Just me, just locked in, throw the skelly on, throw the hoodie on, and that's where fucking Hoodie Melo come from. But during that time, Hoodie Melo became a business. It started happening. Hoodie Melo, okay, I'm gonna turn this into an actual business. Most people thought I was gonna come with hoodies. I didn't want to come with hoodies. I could have sold 2 million hoodies.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go that route. So I say I'm gonna make this a mindset. It's a mindset. Nigga, throw that hoodie on, you lock in. It's your mindset. How you gonna get through this adversity? So that's what Hoodie Melo started to become. So even though I was fucked up during those times, during those 14 months, that's the second half of that was all it clicked. You know what? I'm gonna start showing up to these meetings. I can start popping in. I ain't gotta be on the phone no more. I can take conference calls. You know what? I'm gonna just completely disconnect from the game of basketball. I'm done. I sent my agent my letter. I'm done. I'm retiring. Done. He like, Melo, no, can't do this. I said, well, I don't know teams. If any teams called, I'm not picking up the phone. I ain't going nowhere. No. I'm done. So I started really disconnecting from the game and got real business-minded. And that's where, you know, all the empires started and Hoodie Melo turned into Stay Mellow. Like, it was just, you know, getting into tech and getting, you know, I'm popping up in barbecues and cookouts and panels with Dre, you know what I mean? Because he's already out there in that world. I'm already on this side putting the plan together. So now I'm going out there seeing the people that I really need to see. So the more that I'm out there and going to these meetings and talking to these people, basketball is being removed further and further and further away.
And when you learn, that's where innovation comes from.
And that's where innovation comes from. But I had to go through it.
Right. Yeah.
I had to hit rock bottom to understand what was important, what I needed, and really put a plan together. So you asked me about 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. It was all part of the plan. This was all part of the plan 5 years ago. Yeah. I was just waiting to get out the game so I can close that door, and then I can really continue doing what I was doing.
And then what else have you put together? I know for sure, you know, you got the Stay Mellow situation, so you got the weed going on. Tell us about the cannabis company, you know what I mean? And
I caught people left, I went left with that. But it's only right, though, right? And so Stay Mellow is the mindset, right? It's the brand. It's you know, I always say when in doubt, stay mellow, right? That's what it is. Underneath of that, I'm going to be able to offer you that community, the Stay Mellow community, different offerings. So I have wine for my community. I have apparel for my community. I'm working on books, you know, mindfulness books in the community. Now I need cannabis because I know what the industry is. We all consume it. I know what the fuck is going on, right? So now I want to get to the science of it, though. I want to put a message behind it. This is how you're supposed to smoke. This is how you're supposed to intake. Know what you're smoking, right? Understand what you're smoking. Know the effects of what's happening. So now I can walk through it in the cannabis stage and really put a plan together where it's very beneficial, and people that's maybe still fighting it can really understand, like, okay, this is very beneficial. So I do that for my community first. Yeah. And then I build my community, and then from there we'll start offering out to everybody else. So I started my community with nobody, Stay Mellow community with just a couple of people. We have like 3,000 people in the community right now. Wow. So it's like we starting to build everything. I'm building my creative space, my office in Red Hook, Brooklyn. That's where we shoot the podcast at. Okay. Yeah, so I didn't want to go to somebody else's studio, so I'm building my own studio.
That's real.
So I took advantage of my own entrepreneurship, and I'm on go time right now.
Well, you talk about like planning your next few years and everything like that. And we talked about earlier of the plans you have with Cayenne and his basketball future, and I think it's a pretty unique take considering there's no real pressure, much more than focusing on development. And it kind of is synonymous with your upbringing and your story. So talk about being a father and, you know, the plans over the next couple of years of being the happy dad.
Yeah, I'm the AU dad. I'm the AU dad, man. You know what? This is where I get my competitiveness back on the AAU scene. Because I can't get it from nowhere else. I ain't, you know, I'm in the gym, I work out, train, but I ain't competing against nobody. You know, I don't get that edge no more. So when I see kids out there playing, not just my son, when I see kids out there hooping, that shit, it gets me going. So I turn into the AAU dad, but I'm like cheering for everybody. I'm like on this court, that court, that court. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm cheering, I'm showing love to everybody. But with Kai, man, it was this process been started, man. To your point earlier, I was just throwing him little gems earlier, hitting how to jab at 7 years old, right? So just do this every day, like, you know what I mean? And now you go to the gym, and he went through it. Oh, he ain't nothing. He's this and he's that, and he's Melo's son, and he's this, and he can't do this, and he's not gonna, like, he went through that from 7 all the way up until probably last summer, where people are like, oh, okay, Melo, okay, he's on his own now. Like, he got his own lane, right?
He's got a confident person. He's pretty impressive.
But because I was, me and his mom was instilling that from a baby. This is how we gonna do this. This is how, and he was born, and he witnessed all the bullshit that I went through. So he understands what's happening in this world. He understands it now. Oh, damn, this can happen to my dad. This can happen to anybody. I can't take this for granted. I gotta really put the work in. Dad, what we doing? Where we at? Dad, you coming to the tournament? Like so now what I do is I build my schedule around his tournaments and his practices and go from there because I got a short window with him.
Yeah.
I got about another 2 years with him.
Yeah, and they go to college.
You get what I'm saying? So I gotta really put my imprint on right now. So with him, it's impressive because he listens. He understands, okay, I got shitted on. I wasn't good at one point in time, and look where I'm at now. And, oh, okay, Dad, we put the work in. So I really got to put more work in. So he understands that process. As long as he understands that process, we good. I tell people all the time, we ain't in the rush. The league is going to be the league. League is not going nowhere. When your time comes to get there, you won't have a shot.
And last but not least, we're in the middle of playoffs. Your Knicks. Yeah. Your Knicks is back up and cracking, pause. But you know, how has that been? Where do you think the whole vibe and energy is of the Knicks organization, and where do you think they can take it?
It's. I knew the plan. When I say I knew the plan, I saw the plan drawn out because my agent, Leon, was my agent.
Oh, okay.
So these conversations, I'm not saying like he gave me inside information, but these conversations. At the point in time of my career when I was turning the curve to be more business-minded and start, now me and him having different conversations as a player and the agent. Yep. Now this happens. Now he's still my agent at first. You know, it's that transition period where we gotta figure out what's going on. So now I'm like, really just, are you ready for this? Right? No, here's a plan. Boom, listen, I'm on a 5-year plan. Boom, boom, boom. I gotta clean the debt up first in order for us to make some money. Once I knew he was on that page, I see what's going on. And what we seeing now is those seeds that was planted 4, 5, probably 6 years ago. Because as an agent, that's the pinnacle.
True story.
To run an organization. That's the pinnacle of it. Like for us, it's, Olympics and winning the world championship, Hall of Fame. Say Hall of Fame as a player. Yeah. For them, that front office, running the team, running the organization, that's the pinnacle, coming from an agent to that. And so what we're seeing now is that plan that plan is right there at the peak where he wanted it to be. And Jalen is at the helm of that.
And
you know what I mean?
He got the right coach for the right team.
That's a fact.
And the thing about Leon I like the most is he always stayed behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He ain't never in the video. He ain't on stage.
No, it's hard to know what he look like.
Yeah, and that's different.
You almost got to force him. Leon, you have to talk to the media once. Like, you got to say something, Leon. Fuck. You gotta let the fans know you exist. God damn, you ain't a bot. But he, honestly, I love what the Knicks is doing. I love what Jalen is doing. I just think they got the right team. Like, they got a really, really good team. Mm-hmm. Like, they have a really, really great makeup of a team.
They got a Tibbs team.
They have a Tibbs team. They have a Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
With Boozer and D-Rose. They don't have a D-Rose.
Like they literally just go out and play.
They don't have a D-Rose. D-Rose is just something totally, he was just in another lane of his own, but they have that makeup of a team. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So in the playoffs, we all know, like, shit slow down. It's possessions, it's details. Look at Minnesota, Phoenix.
That's still wild.
Details, but it was details.
That was Jordan.
It was details, and it was a nigga saying, I'm coming for niggas' hearts. I'm coming to get it. If somebody was willing to step in front and stop me, let's do it. Let's dance.
Melo, what you think? That little young dude called his shot before he even started versus some legends, fam. Is that not crazy?
I love it.
I mean, about to say, but like when I'm sitting at home,
I would have said, I would have been like,
bro.
This
that's crazy. Think about it, bro.
I'd have been like, man, this nigga's bugging. But see, I don't want to kill this little nigga.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
I'd have been out for blood. Like,
man, they moving out his way.
In a competitive way, I'd have been out for blood.
Yeah, right.
I'd have been out for blood because I'm taking that as what?
He just called me out in front of Malika? Like you know what I mean? Like, straight up.
It's just that it goes back to say, you got to know how to put these pieces together. You got to know how to put these teams together, man. And I get what Phoenix did. They said, fuck it, we going all in. We got to go. Our time is now. We got to put all the chips on the table. We got to go. These young boys ain't trying to hear that shit. None of these young boys in this league is trying to hear that shit.
Well, you speak about the current state of the league, and Dre is screaming.
I love it.
Yeah, Dre is screaming right now that the game might go international.
Ooh, it already is.
Yeah, we're coming up on the Olympics and everything like that. How do you foresee the Olympics finishing up, considering you're the most decorated athlete of all time? Three-time Olympic gold medalist, all-time leading scorer, most games played, rebounds. And he used to score have some scoring performances.
I used to love playing the USA basketball, though. It was so, I don't want to say easy, but it was so easy.
The three-point line was just too close.
Not even that. It was just so easy for me, right? For me personally. Because I'm like, bro, I got
slow-ass footed, heavy-legged Europeans.
And I got I got CP, Jason Kidd, I got Braun on this wing, Kobe on this wing. I got D-Wade coming off the bench. I got KD over here. I got Dwight Howard in the paint. Chris Buck.
Dre was ready.
Dre was on up there.
Dre was ready.
I was playing defense.
Dre, come on. Come on, we need to take Sean Prince. I'm gonna hold that point. I'm gonna come back to that. But this team that they put together now, right? Like, I honestly think ratings-wise, right, they're just talking about the business of basketball. This would be like the '92 Olympics when Jordan and them went to Barcelona. Like, the hype that had, I think this hype would be for this Olympics. Because you got to think, to your point, the international game has grown. International players damn near has taken over the league, right? So now we got to go put our Avengers together to go take on these other countries. So it's all eyes. It's all eyes. It's pressure too, because these other countries, these guys are playing against these guys every single day, and they know. As a player, you know, Luka looking at, okay. Jokic is like, okay. This is like, they know who they looking at. That's why Shea was doing what he was doing. He looking at niggas in the league like, over there. Oh, come on, come on. This is summertime now. Right, so that's the mindset of how these international players are actually thinking, which is why they coming over here and putting up 40s and 50s and
like down by Donovich from Atlanta is a problem, G.
He's very underrated.
I don't know why nobody speaks about him.
I used to try to get on my team, bro. I used to try to get him, man. Please,
if he start or not, it's a dub.
Yeah,
he's good for the Knicks.
That Bogdanovich?
When he was in Detroit, he was hooping.
When he was in Utah, he had like 3-game winners like 2 years ago.
To be honest, and he played like he used to be posting dudes. I used to be like, bro,
Tibbs ain't trying to hear that shit, though. Tibbs like, nah, boy, nah.
Yeah, but what about Dre's moment with the Team USA?
Yo, listen, man, Dre moment. So Dre probably don't even know this shit, man. Like, when the team is being made up, right, when you getting picked for the team, right, it's you know who, you know.
It's only one spot, two spots left.
So, no, that's two spots left. You know who's the bulk of the team.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, we need because they always, the way Jerry Colangelo did it, he started off, was it Tayshaun? It
was Tayshaun.
In 08.
Yeah, it was Tayshaun.
So it was Michael Redd.
Tayshaun and Carlos Boozer.
Right. So that's how Jerry always like, okay, we gon' these are the roles that we got to fill. We need a stretch four. Okay, we got Melo. Yeah, we need Dwight Howard as a center. Who gonna replace Dwight? Okay, Tyson Chandler coming in 12. Right? Who gonna replace Tayshaun Prince? He was the almost the glue guy of the team. Might not play as much, but he gonna be there for the team. Good moral guy. Throw him in there, make some plays.
Everybody like him.
Everybody like him. He's a great locker room guy.
And you're not set tripping off the court. Like, he ain't like a superstar. Like, he ain't with you. Yeah, he not. Yeah, young guy. Yeah.
That was him and Tayshaun and Michael Redd was the guy. In 12, Iggy was the guy. Because now they sitting back like, we ain't bringing Tayshaun back. Michael Redd we ain't bringing Mike. Who out of this group, that's a vet could come in, hot and low maintenance, gonna play D, he don't mind coming in for 2-3 minutes. Understand what Olympic basketball is about. It was Dre. We had no problems with that because we knew he understood that. And we knew Dre from back in the day. So a lot of us who was on that team came up with Dre. It wasn't nobody else in the league at that point in time that was doing what Dre was doing. So he earned his, I'm saying that now, he earned his spot on that team, even though we had 2 fucking spots. we had 2 spots, maybe 1.
It was Tyson, Kev Love.
AD. Did y'all say AD?
AD got AD. It was me and AD.
AD was our rook.
Yeah, AD was a rook.
AD was the rook. But USA basketball, that shit is fun. So it was kind of easy in the sense that I don't have to be Denver Nugget Melo. I don't have to be Knicks Melo. I could be USA Melo. Like, I'm just gonna be a spot-up shot shooter, run the lane. But I always wanted to try to challenge myself. That's where the competitiveness come in at. So you mentioned rebounds. I always wanted to bring something else to the team. So I said, I'm going after Charles Barkley record. And it made the game fun for me.
Yeah, because every
now if I don't
free
score,
throw rebound.
Right, so now, right. So now if I have a bad shooting game, I know I'm going to offensive rebound. I can get 15, 14 rebounds on a USA team. I'm going to make that fun. I'm yelling, fuck out of here. Like, I'm just trying to make fun of the game because I know I don't have to be Kobe. I ain't got to be Bron. I ain't got to do nothing else but pick and pop, get to the corner, trail 3.
So which team was the best team out of your 3 gold medal teams?
So 08, 12, 16.
I know.
I'm going to go with 08. I'm going with 08.
Who was on? I was like Dwight.
So this is Dwight and Dwight's time.
Was D. Will there?
D. Will.
That was okay.
He was there in 12 too, though.
Yeah, he was. But so hold on. But this D. Will, we talking about.
I'm talking about old D. Will.
We talking about 08 D. Will.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. 08 so D. Will. Yeah.
We had Dwight. We had 08 Dwight. 08 D. Will. 08 Bron.
Dwayne Wade.
D. Wade came off the bench. D. Wade said, I'm coming off the bench. He had just won a championship.
This is ballhead D. Wade,
This is ballhead number 9 D. Wade.
And Kobe was different in 08 than he was in 12.
Yeah. Kobe was more like the old head in 12.
Yeah, I see y'all get Lithuania. I see y'all versus Spain.
Right.
I see y'all
Argentina. Against Ginobili. And,
other games.
For Rudy Fernandez, I see y'all against them. Other games, cool. But 08, he was a demon. D. Will was a demon. Jason Kidd was
just asking y'all where y'all want the ball at, right?
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
That's all you needed. Dwight Howard, Chris Bosh, and 08. Like, these was different.
Man, KD
was different.
was that good, though.
Yeah, how did you?
Yes, he was.
But I'm saying, we had KD in 12 as well.
So you go to 12, now we got 12 Russ and 12 KD. 12.
Kevin Love was a problem.
Kevin Love
was an understatement.
James Harden. Like
James
we got,
was coming around. He was coming to his own.
He was starting to hit that curve. So I'm always go with 8. I'm always go with 08 because that 8, I just knew where we were at as individual players in 08. And the mindset that we all had in 08, we was trying to kill each other in 08.
Yeah,
like we were trying to kill each other. I'm saying during the NBA season, like we was trying to go at Cole, Bron. Everybody can get it. Like it was that serious in 08, and I don't think it was that serious in 12 to where as though they was trying to, like teams was trying to go at teams, but no individual guys was like, I'm gonna kill this nigga. Like I want to fuck Cole up. I can't wait to play Iggy. Like, it was like, this is what was going on. This was the mindset.
Before we head out, I want to know, what was we brought up different versions of Melo, but what do you think the best version of Melo?
Right now.
Love that.
Right now. I think that this where I sit at now, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like, I'm just at peace. You get what I'm saying? I'm not doing nothing that I don't want to do. I'm not going to do nothing out the ordinary. I'm going to stick to my script, and I'm going to continue to be who I am, right? And if you want to come into that world, you're welcome.
Man, you sound like you ready for a relationship.
No.
It's funny when you tell you like, no, I'm really emotionally ready for a woman.
If somebody can meet me at that piece, you know what I'm saying? Like we can have a conversation, but I'm just saying, like at the end of the day, it's very hard. I went 19 years without peace. Mm-hmm. That's a long what?
Only people don't understand that.
19 years.
Superhero. Yeah.
Every day is stressful in the NBA. Yeah. Even though it's fun. Yeah. It's stressful. 19 years. Over and over and over, repetitively for 19 years. So hell yeah, I'm at peace right now.
That's beautiful, man.
Well, yo,
absolutely.
Hey, we appreciate you, Melo.
Indeed.
Obviously, man. Growing up, always been a big fan, but, you know, seeing what you're doing now, crossing over, and it's always great to see the great ones continue being that nigga at the end. So,
for sure.
Appreciate you, bro, and always
it's the 100th episode, right? Congratulations,
know,
man.
I appreciate you, man.
You know, you ain't got no filter. I be watching you. Dre sometimes ain't got no filter either. So I love doing these type of sit downs where it's real. You know what I mean? Because everybody got their opinions on what's happening out there. But when you can really talk to people that really understand the game and understand how to break shit down and how to see it from a player's perspective and how to see it from the other side, those conversations is easy. So I'll leave y'all with some gems.
Appreciate you, fam.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. My God. Love, man.